Good afternoon, everyone. This is about my story, which I would like to talk about building futures. Because someone has built mine. You might be wondering, what is this all about? Today, what I have achieved is because of some of the achievements which I did, and because of the people who are behind me. And I would like to talk about my own story to tell you how each one can build a better future and legacies. I come from a family of 7 children with 5 daughters and 2 sons. And again, from a very remote village. You can see here, this is my family. I'm talking about 45, 50 years back. Imagine a family of 5 daughters and what my parents might have gone through. Especially in a village, the kind of struggles the parents who are poor go through in bringing their girl child. And all my sisters got married at the age of 18. And I was the one who was blessed to find by someone that I have a potential and I have a talent. Someone looked at me and said that, hey, we would like to take up your education. Someone has come forward to support me in my free education. This is from grade 1 to 10th grade. And I'm talking about 40 years, 45 years back, getting an English medium education was a luxury. And my parents could do all to see what they can do best for my sisters, but they could not get it what my sisters deserves. That's when I started thinking about how you can do something different. This is my story where I'm going to talk about how my life has changed with the mentorship and support which I received. A kind soul looked at me and said that, hey, you should come to Hyderabad. You should move from village and get educated in Hyderabad. And I was given free accommodation for my plus 2 and my graduation and my MBA. And this has made me to start working hard on how I can be a better person. And this is something which has made me to realize there is something called human resources, which is HR. When I looked into my education and the support what I have been receiving through mentorship, I'm talking about Y2K bubble, which happened in 2000 year. When I was doing my graduation, and then I realized that there is something called a management studies and then human resources. This is about people and how you can help the organization grow in building the businesses. This small mentorship, this support receiving from the industry experts, from the people who has kind heart, this is not about looking at the poverty, not looking at the financials. This is looking at the talent, looking at the potential, looking at the skills. These things has made a big impact in my personal life. And what I have done, the purpose in my calling, this is something which has made a tremendous change in looking at how I can inspire others. Why people are not able to achieve something in a village. I come from a village and I see that there are talented students. They are having high potential to move further in their life. I started connecting with my professional bodies like NHRD, CII, NASCOM. I started joining them as a volunteer, as a student volunteer, started connecting with the professionals. across India, and I used to go and attend all the conferences and learn that there are opportunities. It is you who need to find out what opportunities you have. This is something made me to pick up HR as my profession. HR is not about only hiring. HR is not just about performance management system, not just about building the organization. This is uplifting someone. HR is about giving access to the opportunities to the students. It is about giving chance and giving direction to the people who has, or students who has a talent. That's how my HR student journey has started. And I started getting into my next journey of an employment. I know that I have a people skill and I need to learn more about how I can go and build the organizations. And I started with something which I want to talk about here. Once I know the mentors, once I have my clear purpose, I started working hard the way I reached the top position in my organization. A student coming from a village, imagine getting into a top position and traveling to Singapore and Australia to run the business meetings. It did not start there. After my trip to Singapore and Australia to look at the business opportunities and how we can grow as an organization in India, I started traveling to United States. I started traveling to United Kingdom, Belarus. And then when I traveled all these countries, I started looking at what is important for someone to grow in their career. It is important to have the skill, potential, and capabilities. Will someone identify such potentials? English or the communication skill is not the only important thing. That's what I realized when I was in my office along with my colleagues in Minsk in Belarus. People struggle to speak in English and they feel very inferior, saying that, hey, I can't speak English, but do you really have the potential? These are the learning lessons which I had, and I started contributing more towards the HR community. As I just mentioned, I was a student volunteer in one of these professional bodies like NHRD Network. And I got an invitation with the amount of work what I have started doing among the HR fraternity and the student community. I was invited to be a part of the board of Hyderabad chapter. And I was part of the board for 6 years, where I could able to influence many other HR professionals across Hyderabad and India. I started speaking in the conferences. I started moderating many sessions. I started building my network. I started learning. I started contributing in giving back what I learned from my mentors and the support what I received from the mentors. And this has made me to really look at, hey, what can I do back to my village which I'm coming from? It is not corporate social responsibility. I took it as it is my individual social responsibility. This is something which I learned from my mentors. When someone built my career, why not I build for others? And I started talking to my people, my professional friends, and other people who said, yes, this is something great, what you want to do. And then I said, okay, let me do something. So I started visiting my village, which is like in Kurnool district. I come from a village called Banaganapalli. And I saw a young man who is very, very talented. And all his grades were 90, 95%. And he's very, very talented. I said, hey, you should move to Hyderabad. Then he said, where can I stay? My family is coming from a poor background. My father is a farmer. I can't come and afford to stay in Hyderabad. I said, come and stay with me. And he stayed along with my two sons, and he spent 5 years to settle down in his career. Because of interpersonal skills, because of confidence levels, that made me to realize, hey, something is fundamentally not going good. What can I do? How I can bring in more change within my personal capacity? And today, I'm talking about 2010, and this gentleman today works for a big multinational company as a project lead. One support coming from a person has changed his family. And this has given me more confidence on what I can do. I said, how I can be a builder of someone. Someone built mine. How can I go beyond horizons? I am into my full-time job. I have a highly responsible job in the organization. What else I can do beyond my regular job? And that made me to think about how I can go into career counseling, how I can give direction to the people, how can I talk to them about the importance of problem-solving skills, importance of interpersonal skills from the school age. And that has made me to go and help others in building the confidence about their own future. And that made me that, if they stay in the village, it's going to be very difficult. I said, okay, why not you move to Hyderabad? And I rented an apartment. For the last 15 years, I'm able to influence 200 plus futures by a single person. And these guys today are software architects, software engineers, civil engineers. Few of them are accountants, and few of them are HR professionals, car mechanics. Someone works in a retail outlets. This is something which has helped me in building someone else's futures. I bring a batch of 5-6 people to Hyderabad at my personal capacity, taking care of all their expenses and giving the direction to them, finding their strengths, taking out my time on weekends. This has impacted our family members of around 1,000 people. And today, this has helped me, the people who got benefited out of this support and mentoring. Together, we are able to touch children of 350s who are age of 10 to 17, and around 200 youth between 17 and 25 year age. So this has created a ripple effect which has started by one person, and today we are able to impact so many children and youth in the village. When someone started mentoring me, they did not look at my poverty. They did not look at my father or my sisters who got early married, saying that, hey, these guys may not be able to help in any way. At the individual capacity, everyone started helping each other, and that has created a ripple effect. And this started flowing to others as well. What I strongly learned is that support isn't a charity. Please remember, this is not a charity. A mentoring is not a charity. It's a seed funding for the future. That's what my personal example. And what I would like to conclude today is you have the power to build someone's future. All my listeners, all my followers, let's pass it on to others as well. The lesson what I learned, what I have done in my personal life, there is a role for you as well. It started with one student 15 years back, with one supportive mentor coming to me. If one person can do many, I'm sure professionals and achieved people can bring in a big impact. Start thinking about who helped you, who you can help. Because you're not just giving a career to someone, you're building legacies, because one person can do so much. After the primary responsibility, after looking at office, looking at the family, and then you are able to build legacies. So my final take on you is, what I would like to call for action, please find strengths in the locality where you come from. What are their strengths? Have patience. Have patience to understand the other person. Spend 1 hour per week is more than sufficient. If one person can do something like this, and I'm sure every one of you can build futures for others. With this, thank you, and I wish you all the best.